Marcus Rashford, £75 million opening bid prepared by PSG to lure Man United into giving up on Marcus Rashford and really signing him permanently. Welcome to the Rokani Media, United Matters channel. Hope you guys really having fun wherever you are. I go by the names of Rokan David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And I'm here to bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned here onto this beautiful YouTube channel of ours. And smash the like button, comment and share, and continue to subscribe, right? Because we want to hit 17,000 subscribers before the end of this month, and let's continue to put up a show. Now, Marcus Rashford is one of those players that have gone ahead to put up a show at the club of Man United, and last summer, but one that is in 2022, when Erik ten Hag just came in through at the club of Man United, we are all shocked that his brother went ahead to meet the people at PSG, and he was trying to try to have a dialogue to see to it that they get a deal for his brother, because things are going to hit obviously not work out for the club of Man United, and nothing was promising like really going forward, because when Ralf Rangnick came in through, he really had a terrible season, and Rashford felt like maybe his tenure at Man United could have gone ahead to come to an end, but it not coming to an end was really given a go by Erik ten Hag when he came in through, and so Marcus Rashford scored 30 goals a season. This season, things have not gone ahead to move on very well. He has so far scored, I think, only 7 goals in the Premier League, and I think he has like a couple of assists in the Champions League. He has like 2 assists, so it shows you that he's not even halfway where he was last season, meaning that there is something wrong. When you look at his body language, it's really very, 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 very shaky, and it shows that he's not at the club of Man United willingly. Before Manchester United went ahead to play a game against Man City, Rashford came out and put out a story that he really criticizes everyone who really questions his commitment at Man United. He said he loves to play for the club of Man United and doesn't want to really be belittled when it comes to fighting for the club of Man United, and that is Marcus Rashford for you. So for my case, I really believe he's really one of those players that has a lot to do, and I think he lives to the occasion. But today we've gone ahead to get a story from a very credible source that PSG wants to obviously put in a £75 million bid to really convince Man United to lure Marcus Rashford into the trap to join the club of PSG. Jonny Evans has gone ahead to impress Erik ten Hag, and Diallo has come out and really explained to us why he went ahead to deactivate his Instagram account. Let's start off with Marcus Rashford and see how everything is really gonna go ahead and really pan out here onto the United Matters channel. Marcus Rashford, here we go. This is David McDonnell. He's a Manchester United correspondent for the Daily Mail, meaning that he's getting the news from a source that is really credible. He has told us that PSG are preparing a £75 million opening bid to sign Marcus Rashford to replace Kylian Mbappe this summer. Manchester United value Marcus Rashford at £100 million. Now, that is my happiness. It is my happiness because all in all, I've always gone ahead to let people know that Marcus Rashford is a player that is surplus to requirement. We need a player that is ready to obviously take it to the next level. He made his debut in 2016. How many years now? 8 years down the road when Marcus Rashford is at Man United. Has he gone ahead to turn out that player? No. Every season, we're expecting him to turn out one of the best players at Man United, but he doesn't. The best thing to do is to dislodge him off. Just dislodge him off, because for the 8 years he has been at the club of Man United, has been really affected by what has always been happening at the club of Man United. The players, and his mindset is not really right. What shows you that his mindset is not really right? He has failed to really put in what we call consistency. I was really listening to one of the Let's in my country. He was like, content and data, content and data is what we call the king. But consistency is the queen. And he said the queen is the one who really makes the home looks nice. You know, we all know that a home without a woman doesn't look like a home. We all know that. So Marcus Rashford's content is his football he plays. However, much has gone ahead to show to us that when he hits the ground running, he's a very good footballer and puts in some huge numbers and statistics. He doesn't have a queen, and the queen is consistency. You know, the only time Marcus Rashford has ever gone ahead to register 20 goals consecutively in 2 seasons was 2019-2020, where he scored 22 goals, and in 2020-2021, where Marcus Rashford went ahead to score 21 goals. That is it. Last season he scored 30, and I don't know whether he will even reach 15 this season. However, much we're left with like 11 games to go this season, and you cannot really trust him. So if you are a club of Man United and you feel like you want to build something near the club of Man United, it's better you took off this guy, Marcus Rashford. Get in the £100 million as you value him, and get in other players like the Kvaratskhelia of this world. I've always gone ahead and asked people that, look at Kvaratskhelia, you know, if they tell you Kvaratskhelia and Marcus Rashford, who do you take? On any day, I take Kvaratskhelia. You need? If you're asked on Rafael Leao, sorry about that, on Rafael Leao and Marcus Rashford, who do you go for? I go for Rafael Leao. That is it. Those are the kind of players that Man United should go in for, whose intent is really huge. And if he joins the selling list of the club of Man United, I think that will act well for our financial muscle boost in the summer, when you really get like £40 million from the sale of Greenwood, Marcus Rashford. That is 140. Add on 40 for Sancho, 180. After 180, add on the 20 for Lindelof. That is £200 million. There is Harry Maguire. So we can raise £200 million plus from sales if at all we get rid of Marcus Rashford and really get in other players that can really do the job for the club of money. We need elite players with an elite mentality that can really take us going. For Marcus Rashford, he has been loved, he has been given time, he has failed himself. Why? Last season, Ten Hag came in through, trusted him, he scored 30. This season is under the same manager, he's underperforming. What does that show you? Inconsistency is really one of those things that should really be eating up onto Marcus Rashford. And when you look at how Omar Berrad has come out and said on players that have failed to be consistent or to prove themselves in 2 years, Marcus Rashford is one of those, you know, because if you perform 1 year and really drop tools next year, then you are not supposed to be a Manchester United player unless otherwise he earns £100,000 a week. But for every player who earns £150,000 a week plus should be a consistent player and should be putting in performances, you know, you can really have a bad day off, like 2, 3, 4 games when you're off. Then in the next games, you have to raise up to the occasion. That is what Marcus Rashford is supposed to do. And the blame for me to believe that he should be really thrown under the bus and really sold is simple, because the guy is not really consistent. We need to get in a more consistent player at the club of Manchester United. I know it's gonna be really a hard decision to make, but if I'm Man United, I make that decision and let Marcus Rashford go. That is it. You know, he's 26. He has hit his prime. You know, will he turn around that descending curve of his career? Nobody knows. So, how do we keep a player earning £350,000 plus a week, whose future and predictability is really in the doubt? So that's why I think Man United should accept this money and get Marcus Rashford off the grip from the club of Man United. He should be sold right away. He should leave the club of Man United immediately and find himself doing something else, because I see him as a player who lacks what we call a clear mindset, you know. Hit the ground running last season. Come this season, even if you don't score 30, put in 20. But he's not really putting in those. And he's one of the most selfish players I've gone ahead to see in the history of Man United. Very, very selfish, you know. Yet his fellow players, when they get the ball, they look up for him. But for him, when he gets that ball, he doesn't really look up to them. So that is the worrying bit of the guy. That is Marcus Rashford. And I tell you, if a lot continues like this, I'll be excited that United have gone ahead to demand £100 million for Marcus Rashford, meaning that he's up for sale. So we wait and see how that pans out, but I'm really excited that there is a quote coming in from a United correspondent for the Daily Mirror that United are demanding for £100 million. Sell him off. Sell him off. There are very many other beautiful players that we can get in that can really get this job done and dusted better than Marcus Rashford in this tenure of Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So that is it coming in through from Man United correspondent for the Daily Mirror. And we now leave that at that, and let's go to Jonny Evans. Erik ten Hag is really impressed, and this is how far he's impressed with the services of Jonny Evans. He says, "Oh yeah, I've been very impressed. We are so pleased we signed the fifth centre back, because normally you say, why 5 centre backs in the squad? But you see, we are so happy we did this. As you see his performance across the season, he's such an important player for the squad. He will always be there when he's needed and give good performances." Very many people have gone ahead to criticize this man, Evans, that why should we have a player like him? I would rather have Jonny Evans other than having Harry Maguire, I tell you. And Jonny Evans has shown us that when he's on the field of play, he means business, and he knows exactly what it means to play for the badge of Man United. That's why, in my exit list of people, I would rather sell Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof and bring in 2 centre-backs and leave Jonny Evans there, because he won't demand for playing time. He won't. He won't come out and say, I want to obviously play. I want to obviously play. So that will put him in a situation that he knows that the manager really likes him. And I would love to see him really be or keep at Man United for one more season, even if he's 37 years of age. We've seen defenders of more than his age performing at higher levels. Like yesterday, for everyone who watched the game of Arsenal versus FC Porto, you saw Pepe, the 41-year-old central defender, doing the job. In the Premier League, where people think it's impossible, Thiago Silva has gone ahead to obviously defend for Chelsea in his late 30s. He's soon hitting the 4th decade of his age, but he's really doing wonders and wonders and wonders as a player. So I think for Jonny Evans, he deserves his flowers, and I think a 5th centre-back is always needed. When you look at teams like Man City, they're having Vadio, they're having Nathan Ake, they're having John Stones, Akanji, and Ruben Diaz. Those are 5 central defenders. But the difference at Man City is those defenders are good and are versatile. For example, you can play Vadio as a left back or a left-sided centre back. You can as well play Nathan Ake as a left back and as a left-sided centre back. That's the beauty of this and having them around with you. So for me, I think the problem we're having is we don't have central defenders that are really versatile. You know, we should really get in more, because Luke Shaw, he's really versatile, that can play in the left back, and centre back has gone ahead to turn out to be an injury-prone player. Yet in the previous 2-3 seasons, he has always gone ahead to keep fit. But this time round, he has not gone ahead to keep his fitness levels as to where we expect them to be. But Jonny Evans, I give him his flowers because he has gone ahead to work so hard to be into that ilk. Then Amad Diallo has gone ahead to terminate or deactivate his social media platform, and he went ahead and really put out this statement that I've deactivated my social media for a month just to focus on Ramadan, stop the hatred. There is nothing wrong with what I did. It's holy month for me, and social media is a place where there are bad things to see during fasting. So some people thought that he had gone ahead to deactivate it because he was really going through stress. He's not getting ample playing time. But in his own words, that's what Ahmad Diallo went ahead to put up. And he deactivated his social media because of that, and he believes that after Ramadan he's really gonna see himself do the needful. And I think these Muslim players, when it comes to Ramadan, you feel like they won't really give up. They won't obviously give in what we call the best. You know why? The game is all about intensity, and you know that unless otherwise, the game of football is played when they've gone ahead to break the fast. But before they break the fast, it will be hard for them to really match up the intensities, and I don't know whether this will affect his playing time at the club of Man United, because in the game of Liverpool, I don't know who would have gone ahead to get a goal in there for you over on Sunday, but he's fasting, and can he match the intensity at which Ten Hag is really requesting him to play at? That is really very, very important. I don't know. I don't know whether the nutrition doctors at Man United will obviously come in through and give him a particular diet to help him out, but the Muslim players don't really see it as that way. So we wait and see how that really pans out, but let's see how you guys delve into this 75 opening bid for Marcus Rashford from PSG. What do you make about it? Would you let Marcus Rashford go, or will you keep him? Then Evans impresses Eric Ten Hag. Are you in queue or in sync with Eric Ten Hag? And lastly, Amad Diallo. Is it right for him to really deactivate his socials as he really goes into the holy month of Ramadan? 40 days are required, and this is the first week, meaning that we're not going to be playing for the next 2 weeks. I don't know whether it's going to be playing for the national team, but those will be just 21 days, meaning that 19 days will be left, and you're going to be having really some good amount of games. So guys, thank you very much for watching it through. Second video of the day, more is yet to come. Rock and David is my name, and I sign out.